This is a spiritually interpretive and meditative narrative inspired by Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance, one that goes beyond review and moves into the inner journey that Pirsig's work truly represents. It is written as though you are traveling that long road yourself, not merely reading about it. It speaks not to the intellect, but to the still space within that listens when all thinking falls quiet. The Inner Road, a spiritual interpretation of Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance. There is a road that stretches endlessly through the soul, a road that glimmers beneath the open sky of consciousness. It is the road of awakening. Robert Pirsig's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is not merely a book about travel or philosophy. It is a map of that road, a story of a man who set out on a motorcycle journey only to discover that what he was truly maintaining was not the machine beneath him, but the soul within him. The motorcycle becomes his mirror. Its gears, its bolts, its oil and metal are reflections of the mind, intricate, precise, and yet capable of falling apart when neglected. The narrator rides across America, but within him, another landscape unfolds, the shifting terrain of thought, memory, and spirit. With each mile, he moves not only through space, but through layers of himself, shedding illusions like dust shaken loose from a long and weary engine. The journey begins simply enough, a father and son riding west, the morning air crisp, the hum of the motorcycle steady beneath them. But soon the air grows thick with unspoken questions. The road becomes an initiation. The narrator senses the ghost of his former self, Phaedrus, that restless intellect who once sought truth so relentlessly that his mind shattered under the strain. The man who rides now is a survivor of that disintegration, carrying the silent weight of someone who has seen both the brilliance and the madness of pure reason. And as he rides, he begins again to ask, what is quality? This single question becomes a doorway. It opens into everything, into the way we think, the way we love, the way we see the world. It reveals that there is a hidden harmony running through all things, a subtle resonance that cannot be captured in words. It is present when you tighten a screw with care, when you listen without agenda, when you breathe without trying to control the air. It is the unspoken order that exists before thought divides the world into opposites. In Zen, they call this suchness, the pure being of things as they are. Pirsig calls it quality. Both point to the same truth, the sacred unity before the mind interferes. As the road unfolds, the narrator begins to see that life itself is the motorcycle, fragile, imperfect, requiring constant attention. When you neglect it, it breaks down. When you rush the process, you strip the threads of its bolts. But when you move slowly, when you listen to the vibration of the machine, when you work with it rather than against it, something profound occurs. The boundary between you and the world begins to blur. The act of maintenance becomes meditation. The machine becomes alive, not because it breathes, but because you do. This is Pirsig's hidden revelation. There is no difference between the mechanic and the mystic. Both seek harmony. Both enter the living mystery through devotion to the task at hand. The motorcycle, the brush, the instrument, the pen, all are gateways into the same awareness. What matters is the quality of attention. The art of motorcycle maintenance is the art of being fully present with life. When you approach your work with care, with respect, with stillness, you become one with the act itself. That is the essence of enlightenment, not escaping the world, but merging so completely with it that there is no separation left to heal. Through his journey, the narrator discovers that intellect alone cannot reach this place. Reason divides, awareness unites. His former self, Phaedrus, was consumed by the need to define, to dissect, to master truth through logic. But logic, left unchecked, becomes a blade that cuts reality into lifeless parts. The journey is therefore one of integration, of learning to bring the analytical and the intuitive, the classical and the romantic, the mind and the heart into sacred partnership. The narrator's son, Chris, represents this forgotten half, the childlike awareness that feels deeply but cannot yet name what it knows. The father represents the disciplined, rational consciousness that seeks control. As they travel together, they are unknowingly journeying toward each other, toward reconciliation. The destination is not California, it is wholeness. And somewhere along that winding road, beneath the wide American sky, the father begins to feel again. He begins to see the shimmering aliveness in all things. He begins to hear the song beneath the engine's hum, the eternal hum of existence itself. This is the true art that the title refers to. Not a technical skill, but a sacred way of living. A life where technology is not the enemy of spirit, but its extension. Where fixing a machine and meditating in silence are born from the same impulse, to participate consciously in the unfolding of creation. The motorcycle is the body. The rider is the soul. The road is life. And the journey is the slow remembering of what was never truly lost. As the story closes, there is no grand enlightenment scene, no thunderbolt of revelation. Instead, there is quiet. There is the simple movement of the road beneath the tires, the wind on the skin, the hum of the machine in perfect rhythm. It is in that ordinariness that transcendence appears, for enlightenment is never elsewhere. It is here, in the act of living with attention. The deeper message. Pirsig's teaching is gentle but radical. If you want to find peace, begin with care. Care for your tools, your thoughts, your relationships, your moment. Do not rush. Do not divide. Meet life directly, with both mind and heart awake. When you give yourself fully to any act, washing a dish, listening to a friend, adjusting a valve, you enter the same sacred stillness that the Zen monks enter on their cushions. The road, the workshop, the field, the office, all are temples when entered in awareness. The enlightenment Pirsig points toward is not a mystical escape from the world, but the realization that the world itself is already holy. Every sound, every movement, every breath is part of a perfect system unfolding. The art of living lies not in seeking perfection, but in harmonizing with what already is. And so the book ends as all true journeys end, not with answers, but with a deeper intimacy with the mystery itself. The narrator has not conquered life, he has learned to ride it. He has learned that quality is not something to define, but something to feel. It is the quiet radiance that pervades all things when the mind is silent and the heart is open. Closing reflection. When you next find yourself lost or weary, imagine that you too are on that long open road. Feel the engine of your own being vibrating beneath you. Listen to the rhythm of your breath, as though it were the steady hum of a perfect machine. See the road not as something to conquer, but as something to merge with. Every curve, every turn, every sound is your teacher. Every moment is maintenance. And the art, the Zen, is to love it all.